Welcome to the WrestleBuzz Double or Nothing prediction show. What's going on, everybody? It's Joseph Fresh from the Wrestling Journal podcast, and with my brother, the good brother, Joe from Project Kayfabe podcast. What's going on, dude? How's you?
We got a lot of wrestling coming up this weekend, so I'm excited. I mean, this almost feels like a Mania weekend in a way with how many shows we have. I mean, we're not covering it, but like Impact,
Yeah.
you got NXT, you got this. I mean, there's so much going on, but I mean, AEW I'm always excited for. Never excited for their new Sunday schedule though. Fuck that. But
Nah.
overall, still excited to see what this card has in store.
Well, they're supplying us with a Saturday show as well, so we'll have that when
That
it
is
comes up.
true, yeah.
If you're watching this and you watch the Night of Champions prediction show, we are wearing the same clothes. We are in the same rooms because we just recorded before this one. So full disclosure. Let's get into Double or Nothing, man. Not the normal count of matches, like 14 or 15 that Tony would really throw at us in the past. He's kind of slimmed down on that, which I do appreciate, especially for being on a Sunday. We got 9 matches listed here per Wikipedia. Let's kind of go in order of what I think they're going to show up on. 6-man tag, which we just discussed behind before we recorded, that we weren't even aware was happening. Ethan Page and the Guns versus the Hardys and Hook. Who do you got, man? Oh, wait, there's a stipulation too. If I think I did hear about this, I lied. If the Hardys win, Matt Hardy will own Ethan Page's contract.
I
So
did not know that was a thing.
run with that. Who do you got?
Shit, I did not know that was a thing. So at this point, with this new stipulation, also with having Hook, who is still undefeated, I'm pretty sure you got to give it to Hook and the Hardys. I wonder if they got a cool tag team name, or like is Hook gonna like wear like Jeff Hardy face paint or something? But no, yeah, I'm gonna give it to the Hardys just because it's the fucking Hardys. It's
Yeah.
Hook. The Guns, while they had their opportunity to be world champs for a bit, tag champs, I see them taking this L and Ethan Page. And Ethan Page, I love Ethan Page. He was killing it in TNA, and then when he went over to AEW, I was super excited to see where it was going. And he's, I feel like there's still so much that Ethan Page could be doing, but if he's going to be doing this little comedy stuff with the chef and all that, and the firm, even though that's officially over, shit, fuck it, I don't care. Give it to the Hardys and Hook. Let them get the W. I love to see what else happens after this. It's just comedy at this point.
Yeah. If Hook came out dressed like the Hardys, I think that might diminish everything he's put work for. But I think I'm gonna run with the Hardys and Hook as well. The stipulation speaks for itself. I guess it kind of like, what's the point of putting that on the line if you're not going to give it to him anyway? We'll see what happens though. But I think that's got to be a 0-hour match. I think it's not going to make the main show there. But I'm going to go with the Hardys and Hook. I want to see more Hook. I know he's still kind of what they quote unquote green, but he is the FTW champion. I want to see him more than we do now. Maybe Collision will bring him more on our television. So let's move forward. Let's run with the Blackjack Battle Royal for the International Championship. Orange Cassidy seems to open up every Dynamite, so maybe he'll open up, the viewing on Sunday. They don't have anyone listed in this Blackjack Battle Royal. I'm not sure if you have a list on where you're looking at who potentially could be in it. Is there like a Joker? I'm going to be honest. I don't think, have we ever seen a Blackjack Battle Royal before?
I don't even remember. And honestly, with the way that they change the rules for some of these things, like sometimes it's like there's a match at the end of a battle royal, or sometimes everyone's out the ring first. Like, I don't know what to expect, but I do see like a random list on cagematch.net, like Chuck Taylor, The Blade, Brian Cage, Penta, Ray, Juice, Jay White, Bandito, Lee Moriarty, so Commanders in here. So they got a good amount of people here. But yeah, I don't know what to expect of like where this starts, or like will they do. It's not Casino Battle Royal, so I guess they wouldn't
No.
do like the whole like there's 5 people coming out, maybe, or maybe they do. I don't know. They always change it, I feel.
And this is no shade at Tony. I know he gets a lot of flack for this stuff, but like I enjoy this 100%. I don't hate on Tony, but this is like clearly a man in creative mode on his pay-per-view, creating the random ass matches, just putting fucking random people in it. It's 21 man, so I guess that follows the term with Blackjack. I don't know if there's any surprises scheduled or even rumored for this type of match. I guess where it's on the card is kind of going to determine that. OC has been killing it as the international champion, dude. And like, I'll be blatantly honest. I'm not like the biggest OC fan. I'm a fan, but not like, I think this title run actually has definitely increased his stock with me. And by all means, I don't see anyone at this moment winning this match besides him. Unless this is a way they plan on taking this title off of him. So I'm going to stick with OC on this one just because I don't have a clear cut of who's in the match or I haven't seen any rumors of anyone coming in to debut. But I think I'm going to stick with OC on this one. We got.
I feel like OC is a safe bet, based off of, what we see here. At least when I did the math here, and who knows, I don't know where Cage Match got all these people. They just could have pulled it out of their ass.
Yeah.
But there are 21 people on here. So, like, if there was like a Joker surprise, then who knows? But this is a random list. I don't know where they got these people from. But if Jay White is actually a part of this,
Mm-hmm.
I've been saying the only person that makes sense to beat, or not make sense, but if someone was going to beat Orange Cassidy, and he's been on a great reign, he's been putting on some amazing matches. I almost thought Kyle Fletcher was about to beat him, or even even when he went against Buddy, I'm like, oh, what if Buddy does it? I'm a big fan of Buddy, but unfortunately he did not. But I want to say, because I think it would be fucking cool as hell if it actually happened in a match 1-on-1 rather than like a battle royal. I want to say like Orange Cassidy eliminates Jay White, and I know they got the whole Ricky Starks thing going on, but it would also be cool if like Ricky Starks won this. But Orange Cassidy throws out Jay White, even though he's in a feud with Ricky, and then maybe Jay White goes against Orange Cassidy like on a Collision or something. But yeah, I'd say Orange Cassidy has been safe. It's crazy too. I saw another thing where it's like, he's had the title for 200 something days. Roman's had his title for X amount, almost 1,000, and he's almost has as many title defenses as Roman, which is a funny comparison just because it's Orange Cassidy. And it's crazy too, because that was always the thing about Orange Cassidy. Everyone's like, he's a gimmick, but he's put on some of the best matches like every week consistently. I mean, I still think Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy was one of the best matches I've seen last year. So I agree with you. Orange Cassidy for the win. Interested to see where this goes on who will eventually take this belt off of him.
Yeah, and just real quick, I don't want to harp on it for too long, and just with the whole Orange Cassidy as a gimmick thing, I think what helped him in this current run is he's still riding with the gimmick, but he's definitely toned it down a little bit. He's been more match heavy, more like technical in his matches. I think that's what kind of like drew me to him, is because he's showcasing his ability more than he's ever had, in my opinion, at least from what I'm seeing. So, yeah, I think this is a good battle royal to like maybe start new feuds. Maybe start the next one that's going to be with OC, like you said, with Jay White. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, OC is I think he's gonna take this one here. All right, let's go forward. Let's do the AEW TBS Championship. Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. This is the match number 2. I believe they've faced each other already, or
they faced each other once, and Jade won, and that match was kind of meh.
Yeah. Well, I no offense to both of these women, but I think this one's going to be meh as well. And I think Jade's going to come out on top. If Taya wins somehow, I'd be slightly disappointed. And you kind of mentioned it before we were talking, like the build to this has just been whatever, right? It's not really much of what like to lead up. If this is going to lead up to a Jade's sick reign, or quote unquote sick reign, like an undefeated reign, for her to lose in this feud, I think it'd be a letdown. So I hope it's not the case. Nothing against Taya, but I think I'm going to go with Jade on this one to stick as the TBS champion. Who you got?
Yeah, I'd agree. I really like Taya. I've been a fan of her since like, her days just doing Mexico and TNA, but like just the build hasn't been there. Like they suspended her for like a week or two in kayfabe, and then like now she's back, and now she can use the road to Valhalla, which is also the same finish Jade has, the Glam Slam, basically.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting that they never made her change her finish, but like, hey, it's her finish. Like, let her do what she wants. But yeah, I also say this is when I'm gonna not try and like go off track, but like I think hopefully with Collision, and they want to make it like their second big show, not like a Rampage, but like a legitimate must see show. I hope they get someone else to help Tony write the show or write stories, because I don't think Tony knows how to write two woman stories at the same time well.
Yeah.
Because like we got the whole thing going on with like Jamie Hayter and the Outcast and all that, which is like the main thing that's been going on. But I feel like most of like Shade Cargill's run and TBS title, like, you know, it's definitely like we get to see her, but we don't see how important all the time it is, or it's like
Yeah.
never the build that it could be. Like, give her like a Jamie Hayter level build, you know, because she is at least of the star level or more than what a Jamie Hayter is, you know, to say just because of who Jade is and how she presents herself. But yeah, Jade because if she loses, like I feel like the whole undefeated streak just kind of went like out of
Yeah.
nowhere. When like give me a feud where it's like, oh, I want these, I can't tell who's gonna win, and it just feels like Jade will win. I feel like if Ty was ever gonna beat it, like I want a better build if Ty were to do it.
100%. And there's also rumors of maybe Chris Statlander coming back, so maybe she appears at the end of the match and sets up their thing going forward. She'd be someone. I hope they put a little more. Like I think that's hopefully that's what they're doing. They're waiting for her to get back. She's been out for so long, right? That they could set up that feud, make that legit Jade versus Chris, and make that a must win for Chris Statlander. I think down the road, I think she could be the one that can end the streak. So hopefully that's the case. Um, we'll both go with Jade on that one as well. All right. Let's do Wardlow versus Christian TNT Championship ladder match. Wild. Christian Cage in a ladder match in 2023.
Love to fucking see it, but still
Yeah,
wild to think.
I know, insane. Pretty crazy. Like Luchasaurus isn't going for the title. I was caught off guard kind of that. I know they have the issues. I think there's like a lawsuit with his mask and stuff, but he's still on TV, so I don't know
Yeah.
what the issue is or if there's still an issue. I got to go with Wardlow in this one. I can't imagine him losing the title to Christian. I mean, technically though, this TNT has been a flip flop title. It's kind of jumping all over the place, but I got to stick with War Daddy on this one. I'm a big Wardlow guy. Shout out to Wardlow. So I hope he retains and sticks with this, and I hope they kind of run with him and Arn going forward. I think it's a good odd but good pairing, and I think they could maybe form some sort of group there. That could be kind of fun. But I'm gonna go with Wardlow. Joe, who you got, man?
They could form like the next, you know, evolution if you think about it.
Yeah, right.
You know, you got the Batista, you got the Ric Flair, and all we need is a Randy, and I
Triple
guess
H.
I wonder who'd be the HH, but man, yeah, I'd say Wardlow, because you know it would be cool as hell to see Christian Cage with a title again, just because he's on like, I mean, mostly we've had the Jungle Boy stuff, but he's been on top tier heel caliber with the shit he has done.
Yeah.
And you know, I am surprised too. I feel like the better match or the cooler match per se would maybe be like Luchasaurus and Wardlow. Because to put like, I know Luchasaurus has had his moments, like, you know, I saw him in a steel cage against Jungle Boy. That was cool. And I saw that at Full Gear. But like, I still feel like he doesn't get the opportunity to be presented in a single star caliber, which I thought this is what we were going to get. But they said, nah, Christian is going for the title, which I still think the match could be cool. Because I mean, it's Christian. Christian's a really solid wrestler. That's been one of his biggest things that's kept him around for so long. But Wardlow won the TNT title, lost it, won it again, and then like, what did he lose it again? Like, what? I don't even. He's lost it so many times. It feels like at this rate, like, you know, let him keep it and let him actually have a decent feud with, or like run with this belt for a bit, just because like it has been flip flopped around this belt, and we took him away from MJF to build him up to be legitimate. We've had sparks, but we haven't had enough of Wardlow. Like, what was it? I think just like 2 weeks ago in AEW, he went against a jobber again. I'm like, what are we doing putting him against jobbers? Which I guess if you have him going against this feud against Christian and Luchasaurus, like, I guess you could throw a jobber in the mix, but like, I want some Wardlow matches. Like, I want him to, you know, I think the last time I really enjoyed a Wardlow match, not counting like the stuff he did with Powerhouse Hobb and stuff, when he went against Orange Cassidy. That was cool. So it would be nice to see if he wins this and then goes on to more things in the future.
Yeah, 100%. I need a better visual of Wardlow on a week-to-week basis, whether it's on Collision or on Dynamite. And I hope he gets a representation that he deserves for sure, especially as TNT champion. I think you need a little more out of that to maybe make that title. I mean, you have the international title getting defended every week, opening the show, making that title look beautiful, right? And the TNT title, I don't know, kind of gets lost in the dust there. And as I look, I go back on this list here. Wikipedia does have a list of people that are in the Battle Royal match. So I think it's everyone that you named anyway. So should be good. All right, let's go forward here. Let's see. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho, unsanctioned match, which they had to sign a contract for on Dynamite. And if you didn't watch Dynamite, spoiler alert, Sabu will serve as a special guest enforcer.
In 2023, Sabu is a special guest enforcer.
Now we're not going to talk about Sabu, his personal life on this show here, but if you go on Twitter, just search Sabu and you'll find out for sure.
Oh
yeah. Adam Cole, Chris Jericho, Joe, who are you going with, man?
Oh man, also unfortunately, his personal life can get in the way of things. Chris Jericho and how people feel about him, but also these two guys right here are like on my Mount Rushmore favorite wrestlers ever. And Chris Jericho is probably going to give the rub to Adam Cole because Adam Cole is someone who probably will be challenging for the world title any day now. Like where he should be at. So I think this feud should go to Adam Cole. I mean, this man, they had his girlfriend get her ass beat in front of him on TV. Like, give him a break in this kayfabe wise story. Let him get the W off of Chris Jericho because at the end of the day, similar to what I said in our Night of Champions thing, where Brock Lesnar could lose and then be challenging for the world title the next day. Chris Jericho is also in that same kind of territory in like AEW where he's like, all right, I'm Le Champion, so give me the match anyway. Like, it doesn't matter how many matches he loses, he's still Chris Jericho. So I'm giving it to Adam Cole, baby, because it's Adam Cole, and he's hot right now, coming back from his his injury, and it's still like watching. I didn't watch all of it, but that AEW All Access, they really put into the fact we almost would have maybe never had Adam Cole wrestle again. So that's just wild. So Adam Cole, Chris Jericho, which is also a crazy sentence to even say when you think about like watching Adam Cole from the Indies to now. But yeah, give him the win because he deserves it.
Yeah, 100%. We never got Adam Cole on the main roster in WWE to see him like fight legit legends, right? So I think it's cool to see him finally get like this type of match. Got to roll with Cole in this one. Not sure if they have what they have planned for the outs because I mean like Cole and Roddy are outnumbered, right? I know they have Sabu there, but what is Sabu gonna do, dude? Right? Like the most random addition to their help in ever. Like wouldn't have guessed him by a long shot.
If there's like like they normally have like a DraftKings, they're sponsored by DraftKings. They have like a pool of like, like those like, oh, who's going to get X amount of this or who's going to do that? Like if there was like a pool to like bet like is Sabu somehow going to botch something, I put money on that.
Yeah,
if he has to do like a crazy spot because his spots are either, oh shit, he hit that or like, oh shit, he's alive from that.
Yeah. It's going to be wild, man. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. Should be a fun match.
Oh yeah.
Jericho's got to give Cole the win on this one for sure. All right, let's go forward here. Let's do AEW World Tag Team Championships. FTR versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Another one that I never thought what I'd like to see in 2023, right? Just an odd pairing. Karen Jarrett's back. She's with, or not back, she's in AEW. Mark Briscoe's the special guest referee, which is interesting as hell. Which side is he going to be on? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of confusion there. I think you got to run with FTR on this one, dude. I think we already did that thing where it's like the Guns won the tag team titles. It's like, all right, we get it. They're heels. They have heat. Give them the titles. Let the baby faces take it back from them. I don't think, like, Jeff Jarrett's cool in my book, right? Jay Lethal's cool in my book, but not in the sense of like I want to see them as tag team champions again. We've been through this already. Let FTR run with it. They're going to be clearly a main focal point on Collision. They're on the poster. Let them bring the tag team titles to Collision. Make that show a little more meaningful than what it is already. But I gotta ride with FTR on this one, man, for sure. We got.
No, I agree. It's interesting, saying Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, they're going for world titles. It's Jeff Jarrett himself,
Yeah, right.
especially like the man is old, but he can go in the ring. Like
Dude,
he
he
can still put on
shows
a
like he
match.
did. I think I'm sorry to interrupt, but someone said it best. Like you, he's worked like that his whole life for
Yeah,
like basically for this reason. Because like you can do stuff you can do when you're 20, that do stuff you can do when you're 20 that you can do when you're 45 or 50.
yeah.
Like so you can still go. It's longevity, man, and you got to give him props.
Man is 55 years old. So think
Damn.
about it. Like, I like someone who could probably do the same shit like him. The Miz. The Miz has been working
Yes.
the safest, set move set in WWE his whole career. And I'd imagine he has another 20 years in him with the way he goes. But he probably don't need that because he gets a lot of money from the WWE. So he probably doesn't need to, but you never know nowadays. But I was gonna say AEW is such the weirdest like conglomeration of like
Dude.
WCW, ECW, and TNA together. Like it's just all of that combined
And
to make this
WWF, dude.
beautiful thing.
WWE, WWF. Like, it's a whole.
It has it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the match. These guys signed what, a 5-year contract? Yeah, they gotta hold the belts long enough. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we already had the joke where like the Guns were tag team champs for a bit. FTR need to be the champs, and then even though he's injured, man, I want to see FTR Aussie Open again. That would be fucking
Mm.
sick to see that on
We'll get it
AEW.
again for sure.
Yeah. So hopefully, he comes. I forget his name exactly, but the dude on Aussie Open that isn't Kyle Fletcher is injured. Mark.
Mark Davis, I think his name is.
Yeah. So yeah, FTR for the win, and this is pretty fucking cool too. I mean, these guys are probably like think it's also cool that they get to wrestle Jeff Jarrett. Like it's Jeff Jarrett, so why
Yeah.
not put some respect on that name for Jeff? And yeah, they should get the win because why not? And then there's the interesting thing we haven't talked about, the whole Mark Briscoe being involved as a special referee, and he's slapping around everyone on Dynamite. That was funny,
Pushed
but
Karen Jarrett.
yeah, he really did. That was
Yoked her
funny.
up, dude.
That was great. But and I find it like there's the one thing that I do say if I could digress, but it's about the match anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
Sometimes I really need like I mentioned before, Tony Khan needs someone to help him with some direction or something because you got, Mark, he's like upset at Dax for the pile driver that he got. And then, Dax was trying to kind of explain it, but he didn't give the best explanation. Also, just seeing the way it happened too on on television, it didn't look great either. Like
Yeah.
it just we're not dumb. Like that guy isn't blind. Like make it look like he's a little bit more blind in that moment. But yeah, I just kind of wish there was a little bit better storytelling with that portion of it all. But I like the idea that they're trying to make it seem like Mark isn't playing any favorites with how it just came off. So at least there was an attempt. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays and what they do, and also just very interested to see what they do with Mark Briscoe in general because I thought he would have beat Samoa Joe for the ROH television title back at Supercard of Honor or anything or whatever that show is called. But yeah, I'm surprised, but very interested to see where that goes too in this match.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Briscoe thing is a question, and I don't know. I'm again, I wasn't like the biggest follower of Ring of Honor in my past, but I'm not sure if Briscoe's worked heavy heels or heavy babyface. I'm not sure. Uh, so I'm not sure if he has like that past of like the potential of turning heel. Because clearly he's a babyface at the moment. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. They have history. Jay Lethal and him have the history. FTR and the Briscoes have the history. So there's definitely something could happen, man. Something can make this interesting, or they just give it to FTR and just call it a day and move forward.
Yeah, at least from what I can remember, back in ROH, they were mostly faces from the times I've watched, but when they were quote unquote heel, it was mostly because Jay was kind of putting in the work because Jay was mostly the one on the mic most of the time because
Gotcha.
they would always I mean, it's his gimmick, but he's definitely a smarter individual in the way they used to play him off. But he was just like this crazy kung fu redneck guy. That was most of the time. Like I don't remember him getting the mic too much, but when he did, it was funny. But yeah, he was
I've enjoyed what I've seen so far from him. So
yeah.
hopefully he gets a little more action going forward and not just special guest referee shit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We have 3 more left here. Let's do Anarchy in the Arena match. Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. A lot of magic that's been happening the past few weeks, I would say, with Hangman coming back and rejoining with the Elite. Um, the Blackpool Combat Club has been sick. They've been awesome as heels. Definitely a lot of heat going into this match. What are your expectations of this? And I mean, obviously, who do you have winning? And what do you think is going to happen, man? How far are they going to go here?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued. I mean, I wonder it's because Moxley, he cut that little promo saying like this is gonna be the bloodiest thing you've ever seen. You thought
Mm,
we went crazy before, like, because everyone goes back to that photo of Eddie Kingston drenched in blood, Yankee shirt, gas
yeah.
tank in hand. Like, can they top that like moment right there? But I'm expecting it to go crazy. Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, we have seen somewhat of a anarchy in the arena or whatever it was called the last time the Elite was involved when they went against Jericho. No, the Inner Circle. That's what they were
Yeah.
before when they did that. But because it's very interesting, like just to watch, because Brian, Claudio, Moxley, Yuta, they can play that gritty, like I'm gonna fuck you up kind of thing. But it's very funny sometimes to see like someone like Kenny Omega or like Nick Jackson try and like seem tougher or like bloodier than they can be, because sometimes it almost looks like force. Like sometimes seeing Kenny Omega trying to go to that level, I saw a couple times. I'm like, you just look a little funny, my guy. But I'm interested to see how far they go, just because like it's the Blackpool. They're made for this. I mean, they killed it last year.
Yeah.
And this is something, this is the Elite's first time fully back in years now. So because of that, I want to say the Elite are going to walk out of this. But I can also, actually, it's one of those things where it's like, who do
Sure.
you really pick? Because it's hard to do. I'm gonna go actually Blackpool Combat Club because they're on a roll, and the Elite can have that sad like, oh, we lost, but we're still amazing. We're still the
Yeah.
Elite. Blah blah blah. Let's give it. I'm gonna go to the Blackpool Combat Club just because they're killing it.
They are, man. Like you said, it's a 50-50 match here. I mean,
Yeah,
either team can win. I think I'm going to ride with the Elite on this one just because, like, I mean, the return of Hangman, the story they have there. I think I'm just gonna. I mean, I can't not ride with him right now. So, um, I always like, and I always do this with matches like this. Like, what's going to be next for them? Like, how far? Because like we've seen in AEW, like things last like a year long. Are they going to keep
yeah.
going after this? Like, what's next? Um, I'd love to see the Elite go in a different direction. I know Punk was supposed to come, or he's rumored to come back. I know they're going to be at different shows. I still think they got to address that somehow and like make them.
Me too.
Dude, there's so much money there, man. If they don't, it's
Easily.
such a shame if they don't fucking get a program out of them. Punk and people versus the Elite somehow. Um,
They're
so
grown ass fucking men. They
I
better
know,
learn how to get it together for fucking money. Like, I'm sorry, money does rule the fucking world at the end of the
yeah,
day. You guys are sure don't need any more money. I feel like that's also maybe how Punk looks at it. He's like, I'm fine. I don't need the money. But like, you'd be stupid not to take this money and
yeah.
take some gold out of this. Like, especially if you're for the fans. And sure, I know Punk's a little upset with the fans since they're playing sides, but I'm playing the side of I just want to see some cool shit.
Yeah, like what someone said, like real life creates the best like stories, like the real life issues. That's why, like Sean and Brett were like the best. Like that rivalry was so intense because it was like real. If you bring, I mean, like just have them work together, man. I think it's there. So I'd like to see. All right, so I'm gonna run with the Elite on this match. I'm just curious to see what direction they go in post. So whether
Yeah.
it's the Bucks go and do their own thing on the tag team circuit, Kenny goes for the title again, maybe, and Hangman does his own thing again. I don't know, but
Maybe Brian, I mean not Brian, maybe Moxley finally gets that time off he wanted.
yeah. So who knows? It's going to be an intense match. I'm excited for it. I mean, 8 solid competitors, 8 of the best in the world. Um, Yuta's still working on getting up there, but he's doing his thing. So
I
let's see
wonder
what
if they
happens.
throw Don Callis in the mix somehow.
Oh yeah, too. He'll be a factor for sure.
Probably. And then, there's this looming, it's been hinted at a lot. Will Kota Ibushi somehow show
Hmm.
up? There's been that conversation. So
That-
maybe.
okay. All right. Maybe we'll get some surprises then too. That'd be fun. All right. Cool. Um, Let's do the women's championship. Jamie Hayter versus Tony. We've seen it before. Hell of a match. I just read today that Jamie's hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know how hurt, but let's go SRS quote. And he said she's hurt, and the women's division is going to be looking totally different in the next like week or so. Which is, I mean, that's what does that mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that gonna put it? I'm gonna pretend like I didn't read that, and I'm still gonna go with Jamie Hayter on this to retain because like I don't want to like change
Let
my
that influence.
yeah. It wasn't like a reporter. I think he just said it on a stream or something. This is what it was all Twitter bullshit. So I don't really know. I haven't seen the quote for him directly. But I'm gonna run with Jamie on this because I mean she's just killing it right now, or she has been at least. Not that Tony doesn't deserve it, but I think Tony, Soraya, and Ruby still need to do more stuff like as a threesome as opposed to like getting one of them the championship, right? And I still think Jamie and Britt still need to, get to that at some point. But I don't know. If Jamie's hurt, then she's hurt and you can't do anything about it. But again, I'm going to put that, not that I know that, and I'm going to go with Jamie on this one. Who you got, buddy?
I'm going to touch on it just a little bit because
Okay.
if she is hurt, Tony Storm is the best choice out of the three of them to go with, I'll say, because Tony, I mean, while she was champion, she was killing it for a bit, and that match that they had, it sucks that she may or may not be injured, but if she's not injured, this could be another banger match because the one they had at Full Gear was really cool. I think Tony Storm's awesome, so
oh my god, so good.
She would be great as champion again. She's the most legitimate one in the Outcast, and I'm still not a big fan of the Outcast. I don't know why. I've always loved Paige. Ruby Soho grew on me ever since she went to AEW, but I don't know. It's just there's something about. I've said this before, and I'm not trying to say it in a way that like it's going to get heat, but who knows? If someone listens and they have heat, DM me, JoeBro316 on Twitter. But like sometimes I feel like and this happens too with the guys, but I always feel it with the women. Sometimes the kayfabe portions, the talking on the mic parts, sometimes feel a little bit more like wacky or like a little bit more forced in a way where it's like how am I supposed to believe that? And sometimes the outcasts just seem a little too goofy in a way where it's like I don't deem them as a threat or I don't know, it's just weird. Like I still even think back and like why were they under the ring in like that whole Adam Cole Britt Baker thing? Like I was like did Jericho know Britt was gonna come so he planted all those people? Like I don't know, it's just one of those things. But I'm still haven't grown on the outcast, so non-injured Jamie Hayter deserves to win because Jamie Hayter before injury, and hopefully this is like something minor that like they keep her off of TV for 2 weeks, or they at least just have her talk, and that's how they go with it. She's been doing a great job. She's had a lot of cool matches, and I would love for her to see what she could do. I know people are saying like, it's too bad now Mercedes is injured, but her and
oh my
Jamie at Forbidden Door would have been sick. But man, Jamie Hayter for the win is what I believe too. If she's not injured,
yeah. And dude, let's be honest. Tony's, and you said it. Tony's legit, dude. If I wouldn't be disappointed if she came out champion. The more believable of the three of the Outcasts for sure. She gets the vote in my book. But yeah, Jamie been killing it. Hopefully she's not injured too bad, and hopefully she comes out with the win here, man. All right, main event. I believe I didn't miss anything here. Fatal 4-way. The Pillars, AEW World Championship, MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, or whatever they call him now. I don't even know.
Yeah, they do. They call him Jungle Boy, but it's just like mostly they're like, oh, Jack. I'm like, oh,
it's like pick the fucking name, Mr. Perry. Man, I feel like when I talk about AEW sometimes that I come off negative and stuff, but like I couldn't be. Let's put it this way. No one in this match comes off to me as a champion besides MJF. I watched and I listened from the beginning. I was super negative about it. Not negative, but I was like, all right, this is not going to work for me. I'm like, dude, we have 5-6 weeks to build. Something's going to change my mind here, right? I think this past Dynamite or the one before, I saw the guy who I thought would be the only one that could win was Jungle Boy to hold up the title. I looked at it and I'm like, I don't see it. Darby to me, could be, but I'm not a fan of him to that point where I want to see him as the fucking guy in the company, right? And then Sammy, just never liked him. Never, he's super talented. Never like got behind him. The whole all access thing they're doing with him, trying to make him a babyface now out of nowhere. I don't. It just doesn't make sense to me. They kind of fucked that up to me personally. They met that all access show just screwed everything up. Like now I'm supposed to like Sammy Guevara. I'm confused because I hated his guts in a good way, I guess. Because
Yeah, he had go home heat, which
yeah,
is not
dude.
the worst thing in the world because at least you're being talked about. But
Yeah.
he's probably he's probably an amazing person in real life. But at
Sure,
least
could
from
be.
like what we get on TV, it's like he's so much better when you hate him.
Yeah. He's not a babyface to me, or he shouldn't be. Um, but MJF is the only one that sticks out to me still to this day. The past 5-6 weeks, whatever it's been, I don't know how long it's been, that they've been building this up. It's going to be a fantastic match. I'm not taking away any of their ability. Like I get why they're doing it, but I just wish by now these other three to MJF would have been more like of a threat, and they've been deemed the four pillars since the start of AEW, but only MJF to me has come out as a guy that is actually a pillar because I don't see them like maybe Darby. And I know I just said Jungle Boy could be a champion. I think he could be eventually, but he was stuck in that feud with Luchasaurus for so long. I just like and Christian,
Yeah,
nothing. He didn't do anything. There was no growth. Darby
yeah.
got the sting rub, and Sammy worked with Jericho for a minute, but like I don't know. I just don't. I haven't seen anyone come out of this match, and I have to ride with MJF. And I almost think like this is a lock of the night too. Like I think I can't imagine anyone else. I guess I don't. Yeah, no. MJF's got to win. He has to, no doubt in my mind.
I agree, man. I think on paper, this is a really cool concept to have these
Yes,
guys that have been known as like the pillars, the foundation of the young up and coming stars at AEW. But like, I feel like this could have been a little deeper in MJF's run. Whoever knows, however long this is going to be, like, build them up a little bit, or like, hey, even though like these are the four pillars, I'd say substitute one of them, and I don't know who for like Ricky Starks because he if he was in here, he'd be my bet. Like if you couldn't
sure,
pick MJF, it'd be my guy if Ricky Starks right there. But yeah, like I just can't see one of these guys being the champ and like being that legitimate guy because any day of the week, I mean MJF too, but MJF is MJF. He is a main event star. He's a must see. But like any day of the week, these guys could lose to like Wardlow. Like I don't know,
dude.
like no offense to any of them, just the way they're built on the show, like they don't seem like the guys that like are legitimate enough contenders. The only thing legitimate about if any of them could win is they're in a compromising position where MJF is taken out or shenanigans. It's a four-way, so anything could possibly happen.
Mhm.
But MJF is probably gonna be MJF. He's gonna bring someone out. He's gonna cheat to win. It's no DQ because it's a fatal four-way, so you can do whatever the fuck you want. This match is gonna be a really good one, but I think if MJF is going to lose the belt, it has to be a little bit more legitimate. The build, I've been wishy washy about the build. I still feel like the best part of the build was the first time they introduced all four of them to the ring for MJF, like celebrating. Was it his bat mitzvah? I don't know what
I
he was
think it was like a
celebrating.
rebar. They call it like a
Yeah,
rebar, or whatever it's called.
yeah, or like his birthday, or whenever he went to Long Island. Whenever he had
Yeah,
the fucked up face and he was
MJF Day
hiding
or
it.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like that was like my favorite part of this. The rest of it was like, oh, like I almost kind of thought maybe Sammy Guevara was gonna lay down or some shit. I don't know, but I think MJF for sure. And if I can think of like where they go next with this, they'll all probably go do their own little separate things. Hopefully now with another show, there's more room for a lot of these people to grow and maybe become a legitimate thing in a future, date. But this the believer in me, the guy that's like praying for one guy to come back. I still think we need a rubber match between Punk and MJF, and the best place to do that is either at All Out or All In. You
yeah,
know, so maybe that's where we go. And I don't want to put the world title back on this man again for a while. I think MJF has to walk away champ for sure if they do that.
yeah,
But just thinking of the future, just fantasy booking and whatnot.
yeah, dude. No, I'm with you. I think that I don't know. And we talked about the build, and it's not. I don't think it's any of their fault. I think it's more or less leading. It was more the build up to this before they announced the competitors. I think they lacked to really give these other three guys more value. Is what I'm trying to say. They don't come off to me like they still look as they should be challenging for the international title, not or the TNT title.
100%. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's creative or if it's them. But even like promo wise, I mean, you're throwing them up against the best in the business, dude. It's like you're walking up shit's creek at this point. Like there's no, you can't beat them on the mic. There's nothing. Every week they've done something. It's like I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a chance maybe one day, like I read it here on Cage Match, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, like he like if they could have like capitalized on the momentum a long time ago that he had when he like was in a match against Kenny Omega for the world title, there was like opportunity there to maybe build him up to be like a main eventer from that point. They put him in the tag title and the whole Luchasaurus Christian Cage stuff. Like, yeah, like you have a very valid point. These guys look like they would be doing more international. I mean, two of them are like 2-time or whatever TNT champs.
Yeah.
So, that's like their thing. It's just like it doesn't feel like they've been rubbed enough in the main event to make it get to that level to believe it.
We'll see. Like you said, it's going to be a fun match. Regardless, they're all entertaining. They're all very good workers. They all bring different styles, so it should be fun. The show should be fun overall as well. Maybe we see some guy show up. I don't know. They add a little spice to it. Some guy from Chicago. Who knows? I doubt it, but you never know. We'll keep that in the back of our head. Check us out. Do the whole YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave your predictions down below. Follow us on social media at WrestleBuzz on here. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter with 3 Z's, and we're on TikTok as well. Put some stuff on TikTok. You can follow Joe Project_Kayfabe on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And everyone enjoy Memorial Day weekend, Double or Nothing. We could watch the Night of Champions video we did, the prediction video, and check our podcast out on the WrestleBuzz Podcast Network. We'll be uploading some stuff there as well soon too. And as always, Joe, take care. Stay safe. Watch pro wrestling.